Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kylie, roll call.
Corin. Here. Neiman.
Here.
Underwood.
Here.
Gilman.
Here.
Kevin.
Here. Next item, approval of agenda. The only agenda item for today's special meeting is the manager's performance appraisal. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support. Motion by Underwood, support by Corn to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Conflict of interest. I'm assuming no one has any conflict of interest regarding the agenda items, so we'll go on. We have no member of the public here, so we'll move on to item 6, which is manager's performance appraisal. So this is a year-end review. As you know, when we first hired Dan, we told one of the things that we talked about was that we will do a annual review before the end of the year. So this is what this is about. And Dan, you have the option under the Open Meetings Act to request a closed session. So,
I'll do so this time.
okay. So the manager has requested to go into closed session for his performance evaluation. There is a draft motion.
Pursuant to the employee's request, I move that this board go into closed session as permitted under MCL 15.2681A. Consider the periodical evaluation of Grand Traverse County Road Commission Manager Dan Watkins.
Do I have support?
Support.
Motion by Underwood, support by Lehman to go into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2681A. Roll call, please.
Neiman.
Yes.
Underwood.
Yes.
Gilman.
Yes.
Corin. Yes. Kevin.
Yes. Session. Yeah, yeah. So Liam, our tax dollars are.
Okay. Welcome to help. Take one for the road.
Okay, I'll call the meeting back to order. I need a motion to come out of closed session.
motion.
Support.
Motion by Gilman, support by Corn to come out of closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we have a motion regarding the performance evaluation.
I move that the board issue performance evaluation of the road commission manager, Dan Watkins, and place the evaluation in his personal file.
That's the word.
Okay, so we have a motion from Underwood, support by Gilman to issue the performance evaluation of the road commission manager and place the evaluation in his personnel file. Any discussion before we vote? From any commissioner? Okay, I don't think this is a roll call vote, so we'll just all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, where's my, okay. No public comment still, so moving on to managers' comments.
Nothing too much. I know we've got another meeting here in 2 weeks. I will just say that we were approached about the existing Kingsley building for purchase. Gonna try to move forward on the appraisal of the building.
I have an appraisal.
Hopefully have that more.
So I know that Chris Forsyth came here and did a presentation on the land bank.
Yep.
Where are we pursuing that? I should say, are they pursuing it or is it completely private?
Private group or?
It's a private group that's interested in it. So, I have talked with legal that, that is an option. So I was hoping get an appraisal, kind of where we're at. We can talk to the land bank, we can talk to them some more, and then, maybe we get a couple offers on the table.
That's a good approach, but I think we talked about exploring all options rather than just limiting ourselves.
Yeah.
to one thing. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Commissioners' comments, questions, and future agenda items. Commissioner Lehman?
Not tonight.
I have, you've seen some of my back and forth with,
Yes,
with Larry on this.
just for the benefit of the rest of the board.
This is what, we put out for bid, the security camera bid and, technology upgrade, basically security camera bid for this complex and for the Kingsley complex. And, currently we use BidNet. We, of course, we have Mitten, BidNet, and these are the different, tools that we use to get our bids out. My concern, if there's a concern, and I've tested, I made sure that it's not that difficult. It really isn't that difficult to access, is that sometimes some organizations have problems with these types of tools. And I can tell you that for myself, my own business, working with the federal government, I've had my difficulties working with them at times, and the tools that some government organizations, such as the Road Commission or whatever, they only use that specific tool. So you're completely excluded unless you participate in that particular way. Well, I don't think we do ourselves any favor by limiting it to that. I understand that it creates a little more work because when Larry updated, our back and forth had good results too. And he was able to schedule walkthrough times. And immediately, as soon as he posted that addendum to the bid, because I went through the process just to see how it was working, I got a copy of the addendum. Which is, that's great. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. And that is on a free plan. The only concern that I have is there are some organizations that may want to bid on it that are capable, qualified, but may not use the system, but they don't exist in our county. And the only way that they're gonna find out is if they're using that system and they have what they call a state license. Okay, which costs extra money, hundreds of dollars a year, basically. It's nothing. It's not the end of the world if you're in a business and you're doing a lot of stuff like that. You have something to say? Oh, okay.
No.
So anyhow, I look at this and Alan and we've had discussions about this kind of thing for years now, really. Back when I was first appointed to the board. We need to grow people into these competitive endeavors. And right now, as a result of not doing so, we have one company, Elmer's and whatnot. I mean, I'm kind of stretching it out there, but we have one company that essentially bids for our projects. I mean, they can call it Reed Bradley or Elmer's or whatever they want, but it's essentially one company, and we've scared off any other real potential bidders on for certain types of work. I don't know if there's a way that we can do so efficiently, but maybe start a database of our own where we just have a broadcast of vendors who can perform certain duties, but may not be on those. So you could say, hey, it's available on the BidNet, perhaps, but then not exclude them if they can't or will not participate with BidNet or Mitten. I think we will.
I think
People can reach out and we can email them.
we
Or
have bidders
print it out
going for a
or
long time. and they're coming
But the way that it was explained to me is that unless they're in BidNet, they can't bid on this project.
So it's kind of similar.
Okay, well, then I'm all good with this then. I'm all good with this.
We usually run into the Record Eagle as well.
Good.
Can we start posting our bid opportunities on our website? When I go to the
ideal.
other counties, I can look back 4 or 5 years of their bid items and their results.
That would be exceptional. That would
And
be
that is,
ideal.
number one, I think we're not as transparent as we should be, because whether we want to be or not, they're kind of hidden to BidNet and Mitten. And I had to ask Kylie tonight for the bid results of the Ridgeview SAD, which is kind of a big blow up in Garfield Township.
Then I misunderstood our original back and forth then with Larry, and I apologize if I misunderstood that, because that was my understanding by the initial responses, and that's why I went through the process.
The impression I got too,
Yeah.
similar to yours.
Okay.
So
And so that's why I went through the process to make sure that it was relatively painless, for somebody to actually go through the process and do it. The only other thing that I'd like to talk about, and I think we need to really go forward with this discussion and be hardcore on this, is the possibility of getting a paver for small jobs and subdivision work. I think if we could start managing some of the SADs, I mean, we bill it out like we bill it out. But I think it would pay in the end, and it would also make some of the bigger bidders a little more accountable to us, because frankly, if we have no other competition, we have to be the competition.
well, you're speaking to the choir as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned, because I started raising that issue a year ago about, and at that time we were talking about the cost of, the equipment and then having to hire more employees to do that. And so, but absolutely, I mean, we could, maybe we start small, like you were suggesting, just with a paver for small SAD jobs. And we have had 2 situations now in which
It would have made a
SADs
difference.
It would have made a difference. So to me, it makes a whole lot of sense.
I don't know, maybe just in time to do town lane.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just, you
Yeah.
gotta remember who we're gonna buy that asphalt from still.
Well,
Okay.
that's the other thing.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
I'll
I'll give the floor.
Okay.
No, I'll just, tonight's probably not the time to talk about, we'll talk about some of the things I've been learning around.
Well, one of the-
counties up here.
One of the things is future agenda item. So any of those things that you brought up, would you like to see it at the next meeting's agenda? Or
I would, I'd
Which
like
one?
a discussion.
which one?
Well, if the bids are already open, I mean, if we can accept bids outside of the networks, then okay.
Well, it's a sealed bid here before the opening deadline.
So what I like usually runs through me, like if someone wants it that's outside of Midnet, like I'll email it.
Okay,
But I require like their email, contact information, because if an addendum comes up, they won't get notified.
that's,
So
that's,
then we keep track, so that we know these people have it, so here's the, like, this one.
in my mind, this is a settled thing then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're good there, as long as that's the case.
Yeah.
Do you want the paper?
I think we talk about the paper, yes.
Talk about paper.
I think we should talk about a cool task the crew can do.
Hmm?
And that really has to come from the
Oh,
manager.
yes, yep.
Internal,
Yeah.
Well, what he's talking about is,
Self-performing.
yeah,
internal projects.
Yeah,
Internal,
I think we should meet, I said
Internal
last
and
month, we
projects.
should meet and the construction and engineering committee should meet. Because to me, I downloaded the Bridgeview SAD stuff from BidNet. And there's all kinds of stuff in there, which is standard stuff the county's issues. But it makes it really complicated and really adds to it's not just the fact that
the boilerplate plate is
the
unnecessary.
specifications are way too complicated for the job.
so so is it that the construction committee first wants to tackle this and then the board?
You wanna do something before then?
We,
We can do that.
we can freewheel. I think talking about our transparency and our bidding, you just learned something based on our thing with Kylie. We have to have some way to get, if we posted the bids on the website, I didn't know we were out bidding for all this security stuff because I wasn't in the loop of that stuff. If we posted those bids on our website, I'd look down and I'd say, oh, look what we're doing.
So for
I'm out of that.
the October regular meeting, we can talk about internal project capability. That could be an agenda item. I don't know if you need further discussion on the bidding process than what we have had at this.
I'm satisfied with what
Okay,
I've
so
heard.
and then if we want to talk about the specifics of it, maybe the construction committee can meet and talk about the more as to what they want to actually see in the process.
I would like to, if you could, in the meantime, I mean, if it's not too much more on your plate, but if there are comparisons or ways that you think that a paver could help us, and maybe some examples of cost savings, if you can figure it out. I know sometimes it's, what's the cost of a paver, what's its shelf, expected life, what can we get out of it in a year? And what then does it replace in terms of the cost that would be performed,
Do you have to buy it, or can you rent it? Can you lease it? Can you?
Right, can we leave? Exactly. And I think that Joe actually has some input that would be very important.
Well, what I have down here as a future agenda item for the next meeting is internal projects capability. So, and then as far as the bidding issue is concerned, we'll just let the construction committee talk about it, and if you want to discuss the specifics of that.
I agree.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay,
I agree with that, because I'm just gonna make a quick comment. It was 4 managers ago, when they got rid of all of the chip and seal stuff. I mean, Grand Traverse County Road Commission used to do a very good job of chipping and sealing, and then they had a manager come in, sold everything. Now we have to bid it out. And we're at the mercy of the other company. This is what happened to us, 2 years ago? That's why we had so much done this year, because they just didn't show up one year.
yeah, there have been times when they've been coming over
So,
about
anyway.
the.
Other than that, I don't have anything else to add for tonight. We go there.
From Blair Township this week. I wanted to say it in a live meeting. They asked I did, but also for Kylie and Dan to hear so I don't screw it up. Blair and Green Lake would like to have a roundtable meeting like you guys had about Cedar and Gray. They'd like to talk about the roundabout that MDOT's doing at Interlochen next year and the detours around there. Nicole, and I think probably Nicole's EMS chief. And then Marv, and if he wants to bring maybe Daryl, I don't know, but just bringing an EMS to the table, but also the supervisors. And then if you wanna invite Brad Jewett and Brian McAllister, they cover that area for the county board. And it would be similar, obviously you guys, but similar to what they did for Cedar Run and Gray, so that we have this real transparent, proactive roundtable ahead of projects happening and all the complaints. MDOT is putting a temporary traffic light up for their project. And obviously, there's all kinds of talk from why can't we just make it a permanent traffic light if the infrastructure is there? I don't think that's a realistic thing, but I think we should talk about it with the people that are stakeholders and that. So if we could make that happen, and I'll volunteer if you want like a road commissioner, or I know Hyder does Green Lake, it doesn't matter, but I mean, if we could have the kind of communication that they had for the Garfield and Long Lake project, I think they would appreciate it.
Just out of curiosity, where is the traffic light going to be set up?
Say Yonder Road? Am I gonna?
Yonder.
No.
No,
Euchre.
Euchre. I am not good with.
It's all the way,
Oh.
they're gonna run people all the way out.
633 to Euchre, and around.
My God.
And they are,
I know.
paying to have us repave some sections of road.
Well, okay.
So we could look at proactive
Yeah,
projects and
sure.
things, but just, I think this is a huge step
Yeah.
at moving forward to that communication and
Yeah,
proactive.
if I was MDOT, I'd say, let's make a deal, Tom's and the people on the other market across the street. Let's make a road temporarily through those, through those parking lots. And you want to I mean, that, to me, that'd make the most sense. But hey, we'll take the road repairs as long as we get that. Say MDOT, hey, you're not using our road for that detour unless these repairs get done. Pack it in really good. Thank you.
Anything further?
No.
Okay, so that leads me, I don't know if you're planning on having any more roundtable discussions on the Gray and Cedar Run. Or if you are done, but if you do, let me know. I'd like to sit in on those. I didn't know that those were even happening, so I was it took me a bit by surprise.
I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it from, I think Commissioner Morris told me about it.
Yeah, so I've been leading those.
So, I mean, it's a good practice to let one of the commissioners know when we have those meetings, so that we could be, if we choose to participate, we could, and
One of us should be there.
we should be there so that we're not caught by surprise when statements and comments are made elsewhere and we don't know what those are. So that is the first item. The second is, I would like to add as an agenda item for the next meeting, the status of those discussions. Considering the M20, in light of the M22 construction project, where do we stand on the Gray Road and Cedar Run intersection? I didn't really, at the last meeting, we talked about it briefly, we threw out different options, but at this meeting, I would like engineering to come prepared with certain options. Just saying this won't work and that won't work isn't really productive. We have to do something, and so we need to start talking about like what are the options, and one of the things that I just have, because in response to Jason's comment, is can you do the same thing with MDOT on that one? We're not going to let you use that detour unless you pay.
So they're not doing a closure around there. When they do that roundabout, they're keeping it open, so there's no funds available. I have met with Dan Wagner several times on this.
Okay.
There is no funds. We have talked to Commissioner Morris several times. We gave them like, hey, this is the ultimate fix around about 1.5 million. A light and turn lanes will be your next one, about $1 million, just turn lanes,
Okay.
And obviously we have no funding for this.
Yeah.
She's out actively trying to find funds.
The problem is it's really too late in the construction cycle for those when they've got their start in March, next year.
So, yeah, we do need to address that. And so I'd like to have a more in-depth discussion at the next meeting about what our options are. The other thing is about, I was speaking, and I don't know if this came up, I was unable to attend Tuesday's Long Lake meeting because I had a conflicting appointment. But I don't know if this came up, but when I was speaking to the Super Ron Lemkool there, he was a little concerned about the work that we just finished on South Lake, Long Lake and West Long Lake. Apparently he said that his understanding, and maybe he said that he could have been mistaken, was that we were going to add a left turn lane of South Long Lake or West Long Lake into South Long Lake. And he said that now traffic is backing up and we addressed the vertical crest, but it didn't address the blind corner because now we have put a curb on one side. I don't know if you've had that discussion. He said that he talked to you about it.
Yeah, he's the only one that's said anything to me. I've had several compliments about that. What we did do is we took ourselves as far out as we could to the right of ways. We were starting to get into like people's driveways, close to their
Okay.
houses, properties.
Okay.
We did everything we could do without starting to do lane acquisitions and
Was there ever a plan? Because my understanding, my recollection is, I don't recall there being a plan to add a left turn lane.
that's the first I've heard.
Yeah, and I told him that, and he did say that he could have been mistaken or misunderstood, but I just wanted to make that comment too. So, other than that, I don't have, I have to, I recall, did you say, I do remember you sending a letter of some sort regarding the political signs on the right of way. Do you remember when you did that and to whom you sent that letter?
So we did a PSA and we put that out with,
Was it on a Facebook? I went on a Facebook page and I couldn't find that. Do you
yeah,
know where it
I think
is?
Susan blasted it out with news media.
I was gonna say, I don't think it was, I didn't do anything on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
It was on Record Eagle.
Yeah. the record
I mean,
people-
is it like a video? Or is it like a written thing?
We just put out our policy.
It might be a good idea to put it on our Facebook
right.
page and on our website, because I think there are people who are asking questions about what we do with regard to those signs and when we remove them, what we do. And I tried to find it and I couldn't find it on our Facebook page. And so if you could just put it on our Facebook and website, that would be great. And that's all I had.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to score, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
We are adjourned.